Sports plus real estate. How does that work? Our next guest is the host of Hot on Homes, a great show that markets master plan communities and is also a sports journalist. We welcome Lauren Leal on the Uri Man Show. I'm Uri Man, the host of the Uri Man Show. Today we're joined by the beautiful and talented Lauren Leal. She's a broadcast sports personality, former Texans cheerleader. She's here in the studio live with us. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, thank you for having me, Uri.
Yeah.
I like the title.
Yeah, well,
we'll just keep it running.
Everybody in Houston knows who you are because you're on the field, you're in front of the camera all the time. You've worked and represented almost every sports team in Houston. Is that right?
That's right.
Are you missing any of them?
No. So I started out with the Houston Astros working with the Park Patrol. So Park Patrol is now glamored with the shooting stars. You know,
Wow.
You see the girls in the white outfits. They look
Yes.
so cute, like throwing out like different baseballs and T-shirts and stuff like that. I did that when it was jerseys and shorts and tennis shoes, before they created everything. So started out with Astros, went into Texans, tried out to be a Texans cheerleader, and I'll back up a little bit because I worked in the press boxes the season before.
Okay.
So delivering stats, getting audio from coaches, players, whatever was needed for the media.
You work for the team first in the back office?
On game day.
On game day? Okay.
On game day. And, you know, it's a funny story about that, how I became to be a Texas cheerleader, because I love to dance. I grew up doing gymnastics, actually, but I danced throughout high school and everything like that. And whenever I went to be a media hostess, that's what it was called on game days, whenever I would deliver stats and get audio, I ended up talking to the girls, and they were like, you should totally try out for Texans. And I was like, really? I never thought of that, but I love to dance. Those girls, you know, they're all so pretty. They look like they have a blast.
You were a cheerleader, obviously, in high school? Or you had
I was
experience?
a dancer.
A dancer, okay, you had a dancer.
I was a dancer in high school.
Okay.
And so I wasn't even like planning on trying out or anything. And they were like, you should totally go for it. Like, you got to look, you love to dance. Like, if you're good at dancing and, you know, you want to be in the media, go for it. And I was like, sure, why not? Okay. So it was a quick turnaround. I like made my costume all homemade and everything. I tried out and I made it.
Wow, and you became a Texan cheerleader.
I did.
NFL. Incredible.
In the NFL. And the Astros told me, you have to pick one or the other. You can't be an Astros girl and a Texans cheerleader.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm going with my Texans. But I still love my Stros 100%. So Texans led into, I ended up working for the Rockets, fortunately, a full-time position there.
Yep.
I was the in-arena host, but game presentation coordinator. So I worked with our sponsors and game ops team. And I can dive into that a little bit more. But yeah, working with all the sports franchises. I still work with the Houston Dynamo. I now work with the Houston SaberCats for the past 2 seasons and moving forward. So yeah, just catch me at one of the arenas or stadiums. I'll be there.
Right. It makes sense because you're such a known personality in the sports world. And I want to talk a little bit about how you've transitioned and used that to become almost like an expert in marketing as a host for other types of industries, because you're also the hostess of the show called Hot on Homes. Isn't that correct?
Right.
And
yes.
So tell our audience, what is Hot on Homes?
Hot on Homes is a way for all people to find out what they want in their next home community. Mm-hmm. So Hot on Homes provides you with an access to different floor plans and luxurious communities such as Lago Mar, such as Balmoral. Those are some of the clients on Lago Mar. So we show you the floor plans, the amenities, what you can get if you want to build your own home, and everything realty.
So now Lauren Leal is hosting this show called Hot on Homes, and I've seen your videos. You made a great video marketing Balmoral, the community in Humboldt, Texas that has the first Crystal Lagoon. You made another great video that actually markets Lago Mar, which goes through everything. I think it just came out in July. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah. So, I mean, we're always putting out new content constantly, showing all the different type of communities that we partner with.
And how do you come up with the plan that's in the actual video? Do you have does the owner of the real estate project say, hey, listen, if you're going to make this video for Hot on Homes, we want you to cover X, Y, and Z. How did you come up with all the content or the different shots that you have?
Well, I think it kind of goes back and forth, and I relay that to what was transferred from my Rockets experience, working with the sponsorship team and the game ops team to see what kind of in-game activation they wanted. Okay. So it was the same thing for Hot on Homes. You have us on the creative content side said, oh, this will look great with a view of the lagoon, canopy, you name it. But you have to come back to the sales side of it and see what corporate wants out of the deal. So it's kind of like a give and take, and you use your creative expertise to say, okay, if we're going to be talking about X, Y, and Z, that's what needs to be shown on the screen.
Right. And I noticed that you have attended the concerts at Lago Mar. That's nothing to do with work, right? You're just having fun?
Oh, that's a good time.
Right, yeah. What was it? What did you have a good? Tell us about your experience at
Oh,
Lago Mar.
it was so much fun, Uri. Like, we went out to Lago Mar, enjoyed the day out there. The white sand beach, you get to play with the water toys. There's a bunch of paddle boards, there's bikes, there's all these different kinds of things on the water. Plus they had a show, if you will. A water show where a man shot out of the water. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, there's a gentleman that's on a jet surf pack that flies in the air.
Yes.
And kind of in between the concerts. It's pretty amazing.
Yes, it was so much fun. So we were like, okay, I want to do that next time, by the way. So
we'll see if we can make that happen.
Yeah, okay. Let's make it happen.
That would be great.
You can ride alongside me up in the air. But after that, we went up, offered VIP, which was great. Delicious food. And then some drinks as well. Got to meet the performer of the night.
Which artist did you go see? Which concert?
Jared Neiman.
Okay, you got to meet him?
I got to meet him.
Okay, wow.
He was a really fun guy.
Okay.
Put on a great show. And I think everybody in the water loved it. I danced to them in the background.
Oh, wow, that's great.
So it was a really good experience.
No, those shows are pretty neat because you have the floating stage. You've got, thousands of people in the water having a great time. The artists are literally levitating over the water on this floating stage performing. They have to arrive at the stage by boat. So it's been pretty neat. And we have people from all over Houston. Do you live in the city of Houston or?
Houston through and through. So born and raised on the south side, closer down south by Lago Mar, but Friendswood, Texas. And then now I live in the city.
Okay. And what's the future for Lauren Leal? What you've been doing? You've done all these different things. What's next in Lauren's career?
I'm a big faith person, so wherever God wants to take me.
Okay.
But in addition to that, I've always wanted to host my own show. You're living out my dream, Uri. No, I'm just kidding. I'm used to being on your side, though.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, usually you're asking questions, right? I see.
Usually I'm asking questions, so it's weird being the one answering them.
You did a great job.
But thank you. No, I mean, as far as that goes, working in a big sports franchise, I'm working towards that and creating the marketing team. And there are some things that I've had hidden away in my pocket I can't really announce right now, but working with a professional sports franchise.
Okay, great. So you're going to stay in the sports arena. Are you going to continue to be the host of Hot on Homes? Are you still doing projects for them?
I am. We had our largest project a couple months ago. I went out to Dallas, Texas. That's the big headquarters, but they shoot all over Texas. Dallas, Houston, Austin, and San Antonio. And their biggest clients are in Dallas. Therefore, we shot 23 episodes. 23 episodes in 2 days.
Just different projects?
It had my head spinning. I know. Trust me.
Wow.
14 commercials and 3 different segments.
And what kind of real estate projects were they marketing?
All of their clients.
All their clients?
All their clients.
Okay.
So all the different communities that they represent.
Wow, that's pretty neat. So I really love the Lago Mar Hot on Homes video because it really showcases the whole community. Our audience may want to check it out, and you're the hostess of the program. So you did a great job.
Thank you.
That's one of the best overviews of a master plan community that I've seen done. So hats off to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was really fun getting to film it and going out there. It's beautiful. This is work? What?
Yeah. Well, you've accomplished so much. You've been involved in all these different sports organizations. I worked for the Florida Panthers NHL hockey team a long time ago. I had a great time.
Really?
Yeah. A long time ago. I wanted to ask you, so if you looked back at your career, if you could meet yourself 10 years earlier, what kind of guidance or what kind of tips would you give yourself? Anything that you would want to know, given what you know today, all your success?
Well, all the success really is him, and it is about relationships. In any industry that you're in, the medical field, the sports field, the media field, you have your relationships and you keep networking off of them. I felt like I've been able to do that because I've stayed in Houston my entire career, which has paid off in the long run, and I'm so grateful for it. But I think that if I would have moved for different opportunities, that's something that I would have listened to in myself 10, 20 years ago
Mm.
versus staying in Houston. But I can't take back what I've done. I'm so grateful for it.
Right. When any decision you make like that, moving to a new city, it's going to have different pros and cons. But you've stayed in Houston. You've really become almost like Miss Houston because you're representing all these different sports franchises, and you couldn't have done that if you had moved around the whole country. But what you're
Thank
saying is, if
you.
you look back and you would look at some of the opportunities you were offered in other parts of the state, other parts of the country, you might have picked one or two. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So I had a lot of opportunities. I had an opportunity randomly in Virginia with a news station. I had an opportunity recently in Tennessee, in Nashville. And I've also spoke with news stations in Florida. But that would have set me on a different path to be completely local news.
Yeah.
Whereas here in Houston, I feel like in Houston, everybody can be something
Yeah. And
as long as
your
they put
family's
their
here. I
heart
get a
in it.
sense that you're a real family person and you like to be near your family.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can tell. Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for joining us today. And we look forward to seeing more great videos about real estate and everything you're doing, and looking forward to seeing which sports organization is lucky enough to have you.
Thank you, Uri. I'll be out at University of Houston. I can't wait for Go Cougs. I'll be out at the Houston Dynamo Stadium, Houston Sabercats, you name it. I will be all over the city.
Okay, great. See you on TV.
See you then.